Welcome to Go With Kyle Harbaugh.
Hello, welcome to Go with Kyle Harbaugh. I've developed two AI systems that are entirely unique to the legal industry. We help law firms make better decisions faster. My one system, it identifies your 5 largest opportunities for growth. It essentially doubles your revenue. Actually, I take that back. I can't say that. Our worst client result was actually a 98% increase in top line revenue. So that's not entirely accurate, but a lot of our clients see 2, 3, 4 times increase in annual revenue. So it's very effective. Your mileage may vary. The other system that I've developed is a hiring tool that helps you understand who is the best culture fit, who has the best skills, who's going to be that A player that's going to align long-term with your company so that you can hire them, retain them, and manage them well. So those are our two AI systems that we've developed from the ground up. I've been in law firms for over 12 years, helping lawyers in different capacities. And today I have a very interesting guest. Jill, what do we got in store for today?
We are going to discuss how law firm owners can take back time from their day. They can close more sales, but never have to do so themselves ever again.
I love it. I love it. I bet that sounds very interesting. I bet that sounds interesting to our viewers. So tell me more about that. What's your background?
I am a non-attorney sales representative. So I've spent the last 10 years learning how to sell legal services and then training others to do the same. I actually developed a training program, specifically a consultation format that gives that non-attorney an easy path to the conversion. And now I help other law firms who want to consider implementing a similar model by evaluating their current intake and sales model in preparation for training non-attorneys to sell their services.
So tell me more about that. What does the sales process, the intake process look like?
When a client contacts the firm, they're going through that initial intake process. So that's where we're really collecting some preliminary client and case information. Most importantly, we are qualifying this lead and grading the lead to make sure that this is someone that we want to work with. They're then scheduled for a consultation. And during that consultation, that is a far more in-depth type of evaluation for the client. We are identifying their greatest concerns and their goals. We are educating them on what it's like to work with the firm and what they can expect. We are preparing them financially for the long-term costs of litigation. At that point, if they are not providing payment for their retainer fee at the end of that consultation, we are handling the follow-up efforts until they do. And once we collect that retainer fee, we are assigning an attorney and paralegal and really handing them over to their legal team.
I see. So they don't even speak with an attorney or paralegal until they're already signed up.
Correct. Paid.
Interesting. So what first led you to this model? It's a little non-traditional.
Very non-traditional in an industry that is really traditional. So when I started working with law firms, I quickly realized that law firm owners were really struggling to manage a lot of areas of their firm. They were managing their own caseloads and still often, if not most times, serving as that sole sales provider where they're the ones selling the revenue for the firm, their entire team. And I realized quickly that they were drowning in this type of scenario. I knew that I had the skill set to build out the mechanisms or the models to help them refocus on business development. And I really wanted to focus on law firms that were serious about growth and wanted to flourish and not just survive. So it was a smooth transition after that.
Oh, I like it. I like it. So, well, I can hear people already saying, like, how does this work? How do non-attorneys sign people up for a law firm? How do they speak to them and not give legal advice?
So we're really, really transparent and great at setting the expectations for what does and does not happen during a non-attorney consult. Always starting it with the fact that we are not attorneys, we cannot provide you legal advice, and we are not providing you guidance. And then we're really diving into all of the support that we can provide related to how you work with the firm, how we bill, the members of our team who are best suited to help. And that provides clients a deeper level of support that when attorneys, frankly, are handling it, it's not a luxury that they have. Time is not a luxury that they have. So as non-attorneys, we're really focusing on redirecting those legal questions and encouraging clients to, instead of seeking legal advice, face a reality check. And those reality checks really revolve around the need for legal intervention. After that, it's about helping a client understand that choosing your team is definitely the best choice.
Interesting. So one of the things you said that got me thinking, so you're setting expectations and you're pulling out, say, the org chart and saying, hey, if you need to speak to somebody about this type of issue, you're better suited to call this person, not your attorney. Is that correct?
Correct. And, we all know the powerhouses that we have in paralegals and legal assistants. And if it's an issue related to collections, it's not an issue that, your attorney is going to be handling. So we take the opportunity to help a client understand, first of all, the financial benefit and making sure that if a paralegal can handle your request, that you're directing that inquiry to the paralegal, and also helping them understand when an attorney is necessary and who within the law firm they should be going to answer those questions.
So another question I can hear the audience asking is, what is the benefit? Why should I make this change? I'm doing fine now. What is the benefit to this model?
It's good enough, right? These are for law firms where it's not good enough, where you want to scale quickly and you have that growth mentality. But law firms that really, when a law firm owner, is focused on sales, that means that their time is not being dedicated to developing that model. And being able to build out a sustainable sales model is key if you intend to double, triple your revenue. A firm owner who sells every service or every case that comes through the door is limited, not just by their availability and time, but also their desire to sell. Not every firm owner loves selling. So this type of model really liberates them from that sales.
That's a really good point. And I've seen that firsthand, where as the firm grows, the owner takes a step back. The ones that are really growing substantially, they're not in the day-to-day operations. Somebody else is making those sales. They're not even practicing very much. They might take a case or two here and there, but they're focused on developing their team and managing them well and training up other leaders and other mentors to develop that team. They're really training their replacement, to be honest. And that outlook, that orientation towards the business is very different. You're really shifting from a law firm owner to a CEO of a law firm. You're really transitioning to big picture strategy. Is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly what it allows them to do. In the same way that they appoint case managers and, senior members of their team to oversee the progress of a case or the quality of a case. They do the same by establishing a non-attorney sales team at the beginning of that process. We've discussed in the past that the sale comes first, and the ability to compound or, expand your scope, that's what's going to serve as that growth mechanism for the firm.
Okay. So what kind of results can we, a non-attorney sales team expect? What kind of conversion rates?
That varies by specialty. So I've seen conversion rates as low as 15% in some areas. and some as high as 65% in others. But I think that other factors that are more impactful are whether or not you have the talent and you've properly trained these non-attorney sales reps. That's first and foremost. Whether or not you have the workflows, specifically the qualification of your leads. That's huge. And then the systems. So what are they working with? Are we working off an Excel spreadsheet or a CRM? So those definitely are more impactful to that end result.
Yeah. And one of the things you mentioned earlier is if they don't retain right away, what does that follow-up look like? What kind of systems have you seen used that have worked well?
So many CRM systems have that automated email sequences and, text messaging, but there is something to be said for that human element, and having a dedicated team to pick up that phone and follow up and check on these leads as their situation develops, specifically in areas of high conflict like criminal matters or family law matters, estate planning. That's huge. That goes a long way. So while we have the tech that'll definitely streamline that and make it more efficient, having a team to really follow up with a client within 24 hours, the following week, and keep in contact for the next 4 to 6 weeks, that's really huge.
Definitely. And I could see the benefit there because you have a dedicated team that knows what they do, they know how to do it, and it's not an attorney whose time is much more valuable doing those types of calls, so they can focus on legal work, bill more hours, service more clients, and that other work can be handled by other specialists that really know the ins and outs of closing those deals.
We know that that billable hour is the most valuable asset at a law firm, and it is not best spent evaluating, prospective clients. It is best spent caring for your clients and dedicated to generating revenue.
So let's get a little more practical. What are some KPIs that if somebody wants to implement something like this, what are some KPIs they really need to know?
So several, but my favorite are definitely the number of new clients that come through those doors every month, specifically related cases, because we know that some clients have multiple cases with a firm, monthly, quarterly, and annual sales revenue per sales rep, sales by service type. That's important to know as you continue to grow. Lots of law firms don't track this. Conversion rate and percentage, of course. Sales cycle length. That was huge, specifically for follow-up purposes, that if it's taking you an average of 8 weeks to convert a case and you are able to decrease that by half, your sales team is doing a darn good job. So definitely start tracking that. And speed to lead. So how long does it take to respond to those either, phone calls or online inquiries?
Yeah. And that's something I've talked about before is there better be a system in place. Pick up the phone by all means necessary, because most of the time, if you don't pick up the phone, they might leave a voice message, but they're calling your competitors immediately after.
Absolutely. And, law firms invest a lot of money in these call to actions and their websites. But if they don't have the ability to capture those leads that they pay for through their marketing and other, forms, then what exactly are you doing? And the busiest people at a law firm are the attorneys.
Yeah, you're wasting your money, your time, building these relationships, getting positive word of mouth out there. Somebody calls and you don't pick up the phone, and what a missed opportunity, and you've wasted your money.
Absolutely.
So could you share a success story or a case study of a firm that you've worked with that has implemented this type of model?
A firm owner defines success in so many ways. We understand that that's definitely subjective, but when you have a firm owner who starts off completely by herself with a paralegal and transitions into a role where she has 3 other associates who handle all of her cases and does nothing but work on the business development facet of of her firm, that's huge. That's a win. When you have a young attorney who can now spend 30, 60 days abroad because they have a sustainable and dependable sales model, drastically changing, his quality of life. That's huge. To have a law firm that really only provided services locally, within 35 miles of that one office, preparing to open their fourth office, and now targeting the entire state, that is absolutely a success, an example of success.
Yeah, I love all those. And that's really well said, that success looks different for different people. It's not a one size fits all type of situation. I think that makes a lot of sense. I was talking to a law firm owner recently who said that they pulled back on their practice. They're still getting a lot done, but they're not working the long hours that they used to. For a while, they were feeling kind of guilty. They were feeling kind of weird because they're like, I've worn this busyness as a badge of honor. And yes. I feel like I'm not living up to it. And I'm not like, I don't feel the same level of success that I felt being busy, but yet I'm closing more business. I'm serving more clients, and I have systems and processes in place, and I've delegated to other people. So it is an adjustment for sure. And it's something that you need to kind of rethink.
A wonderful adjustment to face, a wonderful problem to have. And it is a transition. Everyone handles success in a different way. There's a lot of imposter syndrome, and, we know what we deal with out there. But having the ability to build something in your vision and reach your own definition of success is really contingent upon your ability to build out those systems and mechanisms that work without you, not with you in it.
Yeah,
that's
right.
my take.
Run without you. I'm a big fan of that. So we're coming to a close. I'm going to ask you one final question. What is one big mistake that you see law firm owners make when they try to implement this model?
The sales process needs to be an absolutely judgment-free zone. And the quickest way to kill a sale is to allow personal bias or assumptions to really infect that process. So that is a common, issue that I keep my eye on and train hard to prevent.
Interesting. So Jill, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, get in touch with you, how would they do that?
LinkedIn. I welcome all connections, and I'm grateful for all my followers.
Outstanding. I thank you so much for your time. I've really appreciated learning, from you. I think my biggest takeaway from this one was that follow-up. I mean, I knew it was important, but you really put some additional details in that I really appreciate. And so thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for our listeners who've joined us today. We're happy to have you here, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.